I'm
Yeah, that didn't
really
pick
happy.
up. That didn't pick up an audio, by the way, so you can't yell too loud.
What?
Still nothing. Kinda.
We can add in sound effect. I whispered that. I didn't say that very loud.
Oh, okay, okay.
All right, I guess we should tell the people what this thing's about, huh?
Yeah, man, let him know.
I'm gonna take my gum out for this one.
Ugh, what's that?
I'm gonna keep my mint in, but you do you.
I'll put it back in after. I just don't want to fumble over my words,
Okay, fair, fair.
Look like a buffoon, like I don't know how to speak English. I could make so many jokes right now, but this is being recorded, so I'm gonna keep it to myself. All right. This blurb feels a little too much blurby.
We can edit.
All right.
We won't edit. We won't edit. We'll say
All
we'll
right.
edit. We won't edit.
2 hours later.
Welcome to Life in Moments, a podcast about the little and big moments that shape who we are. I'm Caleb,
I'm Naveed.
and we believe that life is full of amazing experiences that deserve to be shared, whether it's a moment that made you laugh, cry, or see the world in a new way. This is a space where we will celebrate the highs, explore the lows, and find meaning in the in between. Because even when we feel like no one else gets it, there is someone who does. Together, we'll uncover stories that inspire us, connect us, make us laugh, and encourage us to think a little deeper about our own journeys. So let's dive in, one moment at a time.
I just want to give Caleb his flowers for that. Beautifully written by himself.
That was, yeah, thanks. I'll take that credit all day long. Did you hear me already stumbling over my words, though? Ah,
All right,
I've been
Caleb.
thinking,
So,
yeah.
why this podcast? Why is this topic our topic?
So I've been wanting to start a podcast for a while, long time, like a couple, 3, 4 years. Well, like right when COVID was really picking up, and I've been watching a lot of podcasts, and there's some comedy ones, there's some business ones, there's some educational ones, and I was thinking, I have yet to see one that really talks about just the day to day of people's lives. You know, yeah, there's some really good, big, crazy stories that we'll talk about, and there's some really sad and deep ones that we'll talk about. But we'll also find a bunch of just middle ground ones, day to day, mundane stories that can connect us with other people. Because I think a lot of people get in their heads that, oh, their lives, they're the only one experiencing this, they're the only ones going through this. I know I do that a lot, thinking that I'm the only person experiencing this when there's 8 billion people in the world and there's over 100 billion people who have ever lived. So it's like, that's just, it's not true. There's someone else has experienced this, someone else is currently experiencing this. So I wanted to create a podcast that kind of puts those stories out into the world. And also just to have people just have some fun and just laugh a little bit and take their mind off whatever's going on, right? So that was my initial reasoning behind doing this podcast. Why did you want to join?
Um, my reason, I mean, not only because you were really inspired by this, and I was like, yo, this guy's inspired. Let me see what this is about, and but we'll get into how it became like how it became in fruition. But
Mm-hmm.
I started because I often compared myself and my experiences to other people. Like you join so many like social platforms like Instagram and like even like LinkedIn where people are highlighting and
LinkedIn's
post.
so bad for
I
that.
I
So bad.
I don't like it with a passion. Like all these like fake comments in like people's posts about new jobs and new positions and
Oh,
things like that. And while I'm happy for them, like I'm not trying to take that away. Like good on you, but I feel like like I often find myself getting like more and more sad as I scroll
mm,
longer and longer, and I see people around me who are like at one point my equal or were in my class at one point, and they're getting like all these
mm.
cool positions, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
I've
am I
seen that.
doing something wrong? Um, and I just wanted to bring light and shed light on like my and yours and other people's experiences that may not always be on the social platforms such as that. And
Yeah.
I feel like
And
there's a
I,
lot of experiences that people go through throughout their lives that okay, you might not post about it, but you want to share it because there's so many
mm-hmm.
different stories that people have that they don't often
Yep.
share.
Yeah, that's so true. I think it's kind of funny that we're talking about social media in like kind of a negative way, even though we're using it all the time.
Right.
But yeah, people tend to only post things that they think will get clicks or the things that they think will get likes. And no one's going to post though, I don't know, something like I had a good moment at work today. Like
Yeah.
something I personally was proud of.
Yeah.
You're not necessarily going to share that, and if you do, not a whole lot of people might really care or you think not a whole lot of people might really care.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. Only post the stuff that looks really good, that either is going to make people, oh yeah, look at this guy doing crazy stuff, or
Right.
maybe make people feel empathetic for you or something like that. So
Exactly.
yeah, I will shed light, show that the real moments, I think, like the real interesting moments that we want to focus on.
Yeah.
And I just want to get into more about why are we finally doing this podcast? Like, what is the catalyst to this? So I just graduated in December from SFU. I know Nav's got a couple more semesters left, but I've been looking for jobs. I've been applying like crazy. I've probably applied to over 60 jobs, over 70 jobs at this point in the last 2 months. You do your proper resume, you do your cover letter, you spend time, you answer all the questions that they have. And I've been getting absolutely no traction. And I thought it was absolutely completely ridiculous because I have some experience, I have the degree, what's going on? Like I know I would make a good employee. And at the same time, I've been reading a lot more. I know, surprising, because I have normally not read.
He
So
doesn't. He
I've
really
been
doesn't.
like I've read this. I'm on my seventh book this year, and we're 2 months in. That is crazy. You gotta admit that is pretty nuts.
That's crazy.
And there's a couple books like Mark Manson is an author I really like. Obviously, we all know. I think most people know one of his books, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. It's a great book, and it just I was like, why aren't we doing this? Like, why am I not doing this? And a lot of it was based off there's a fear, fear of being judged, fear of being embarrassed, fear of failing, and I started thinking about it more. I was like, well, that's just an ego talking because who cares? Like,
You know?
who am I to think that people care so much about me that I'm going to mess up and then people are going to remember that for the rest of eternity? Like, that's not going to happen. That's like these things that I make so big in my head really aren't that big. And so I started looking into what podcasts I can make. And then luckily Nav also wanted to do a podcast, so I wasn't doing this alone because originally it was going to be just by myself. I recorded an episode all by myself. It's like, this is boring. I cannot talk to myself for an extended period of time and trying to have it structured without sounding like an absolute crazy man. So I thought there's literally nothing to lose right now. Jobs are not coming up all the time. Let's try this and let's just be consistent at it, which I think we both are very excited about.
Yeah. I also want to give you your flat. So Caleb recorded his own like version of a podcast. It was like the intro. Yo, that
Oh,
made me
yeah.
tear up. Like I'm not even like he was talking about like
Yeah.
how he was like planning to start it. Like he's been wanting to do it for a while, and like finally he was doing it. That shit made me so emotional. Like I'm listening. I heard it, listen to it like 2 to 3 times. He's like, listen to this when you have time. Um, and
Dang.
yeah, and he gave me the opportunity. He's like, do you wanna do this with me? And man, how can I say no? How can I say no?
So
This guy is super driven.
I would just like the credit when this thing's massive. Nav, you're welcome. Anywho, we're gonna move on now. But I think it's really because that moment that I decided, and then you obviously had the same moment where you was like, yeah, fuck yeah, I want to do this. Like this is what I want to do. I think so many people have those moments where they have that moment of inspiration or motivation that I'm going to do this thing, whether it's start a business or start a podcast or you look for a new job or start exercising more or ask someone out or whatever it is, right? Like it could be, I'm going to start reading a book, which was a big thing for me. We could get into later. Um, but sometimes I think that motivation can quickly go away. We don't develop a plan, we don't stick to a plan.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we're 2 months later, and that book that we started has only been read like one time or two times. So we don't hold ourselves accountable. And so there's been a couple moments where we've been planning this that I think we've really been emphasizing accountability and consistency. So and just an interesting thing, like I don't know what's different now than compared to times past where I've thought about it, but I actually haven't done it. Like, whoa, I don't know what that thing that's necessarily driving me right now that's different from other times. Maybe it's
Motherfucker,
because I've
I'm
got nothing
driving you.
else.
I'm driving you. I'm here. I'm
Okay.
here now. Yeah, I'm gonna be
Yeah.
like I'm gonna be. I told you I'm gonna be
Give
on your
yourself
ass
that
about.
credit,
Yeah.
man. You can take that. I'll let you take that.
No,
This is all Nav, guys. This is not me.
no. This is 100% Caleb's idea. But it's funny you speak about like consistency and how important it is. Like I can't tell you the amount of times where I've thought I've wanted to try something. Like not too long ago, me, Caleb, and another friend of ours were at a dinner, and I
Jason! My man.
he's not gonna be
What's
happy
going on?
when he finds out we started. He's not gonna be happy, but
You just go like, what the hell, man? It's
um,
fine.
like
He'll
I
be on
I kind
something.
of like presented the idea of like, yo, I want to start a YouTube channel. Like I want to make reaction
Hey,
videos, and I made one. I made one video, and I put so much effort into like editing, and like I'm by no means a good editor, and I'm not claiming to be a good editor. I mean, y'all will hear or see or listen to the podcast, and you'll be like, yo, what edits did these guys make? Probably like nothing you'll notice. Um, but uh, but yeah, like I made the video, I posted it, and I was so happy, and
it was
nothing.
great. It was
He
great.
watched. I think he was one of two viewers, and there was
It's
nothing that came
fantastic.
after that. Um,
You
but
want to shout it out real
no,
quick?
I don't think we're gonna shout it out. But it's still public, so should it ever gain traction in the future, then
Yeah, I'm just gonna say End Zone G,
no,
go
no.
follow right now.
There's like 1,000 end zone gene accounts. If you ever search it up, you're never gonna find it. But
Well, I'm
yeah,
only laughing because of the name. I'm not laughing because I'm laughing at him for trying. I'm laughing at the name. I just want that to be very
it
clear.
was hard to come up with a name. Like I like asking ChatGPT, like give me some cool names, and I don't know why I even did end zone, even though like basketball is my main sport, but like end zone's more like football related, and like
That's
my
so funny.
logo was football related, even though it had nothing to do with what I was talking about. But
Yeah, no, that is funny.
it is what it is.
I got a question for you.
Yeah,
Now, I think there's a point I want to make here just before we actually get into some like meat of the podcast.
great.
I think we're both on the same page of we don't want this to necessarily be like some super intense podcast where we're just constantly motivating people and we want to have fun and we want to laugh and talk about stuff that's also going on in our lives,
Yeah,
right? So I just think that's an important point.
yeah.
But that being said, I'm going to ask you a deep hitting question. What is a defining moment in your
So my
life?
dad.
Where?
Sorry, no, no, he was he just popped in.
Yo,
No,
Mr. Nav, let's get him on the pod.
yeah, he'll be on eventually. He'll be on eventually. Sorry, repeat
Hell
your
yeah.
question one more time. I didn't
Now look at this. We're already falling apart, man.
hear.
15 minutes in and this is just going downhill. What is a defining moment in your life? And why do you think it's a defining moment in your life?
um, I think a defining moment. So I applied for the international, the IB program in high school.
Okay.
Um, and I applied for it, and I was so like my brother got into the program. He like I have an older brother, and he got into the program. He graduated, and then when he was about to graduate, I was in grade 8, and I was going to do my testing. So you have to do testing for this program to get in. Essentially,
Hmm.
it's like if you're I guess smarter, more advanced, or whatever, you go to this program in school, and then it's like harder courses and whatever. It shows up on your transcript, looks nice for universities, and I thought I would do it because I saw him do it. And I remember writing the test, and I was like super confident. There was a math section, a comprehension section, so you have to like write essays and read paragraphs and answer questions. And then there was a team building exercise that essentially you have to like display your leadership skills and your communication skills. Um, and I always considered myself to be like, I always thought I was social. Like in class, I was kind of like the class clown in middle school that didn't like
I
continue.
can confirm still into university he's a class clown.
Okay. Uh, in middle school I was more like I was like very like out there and outspoken. Like I'd be kind of annoying to teachers sometimes, and I thought I'd do like well in these exercises. But as soon as we started doing the exercise, I went mute.
Hmm.
um and it kind of like showed me my true character, and that like in like the pressure building moments or in like moments that truly matter, I'm not as vocal or as loud as I want to be. um
Hmm.
and
That's interesting.
this is why like this podcast was actually particularly challenging, because it's like it's hard for me to put myself out there. Like
Hmm.
every now and
I
then
agree.
I'll get comments and being like, hey, you're pretty outgoing, but I'm like, I always think to myself when people tell me that, and I'm like, I'm really not. Like I feel like I'm almost like faking it, like fake it till you make it. Like I feel like I'm not, like
Yeah.
this isn't truly who I am. Like I'm a
That's
lot more
such a good
introvert.
point. That's a great point. I feel like a lot of people will be able to relate to that. The whole because I've been told so many times like, oh, you got a great speaking voice, so you do so good in presentations.
Yeah,
But I don't think people realize like I'm literally like shaking in my boots before I'm about to go give a presentation. And that is such an interesting thing because I think this leads in a really interesting point where, so I've been told like I can speak well in public. I have a good voice, whatever. But that's only because I spend hours upon hours upon hours rehearsing meticulously everything I'm going to say in a presentation or in a speech because it's the only way that I'll feel somewhat prepared, which is just kind of like that interesting thing where nobody sees the preparation.
Yeah.
They just see the payoff. They just see,
Right.
oh, look at that. Like I'm sure there's people who've watched me give a speech or a presentation thought, oh, wow, he's really good at that.
Yeah.
That must be nice.
Right.
But like 10 minutes before this, I was sweating profusely
Yeah.
and I was shaking and I could barely walk. And
You can barely walk. You can barely walk.
okay, come on, I'm being hyperbolic. Is that the word? Is that a word?
Man, I don't know, man. I'm not gonna pull it up. I'll give you a word for
Come on. But you know what I mean,
it.
though.
Yeah, yeah,
Like this, you don't see what's going on. I think so many people are like that, where they're busting their asses doing something in private, behind the scenes, people don't see. And then once they start getting that reward, people are like, oh, look at you, overnight success. Lucky you.
right.
You're like, hold on, this person was grinding to get to where they are.
Yeah,
They're doing whatever they needed to do to be able to, for you to see that finished product,
yeah,
which is, I think that's a really interesting
yeah. And
point.
it's funny you bring that up because I'm trying to think. The first like memory I have of you is in that class we met together. Is in that marketing
Yeah,
class
yeah.
that we were in together, and you were. Like Caleb was in a debate, so like we in this class you had to do debates. It was a 3-on-3 debate, and his other two partners like they weren't like saying too much. Um, But when I tell you Kayla 1-on-3 this other team and absolutely whooped ass in this debate, and he was speaking with like such like conviction and like obviously like you can tell he has a narrator voice, and I tell him all the time. But like my immediate like it's funny you bring that like there's so much more that goes on behind the scenes because in my head I was like, yo, this guy's just a naturally born speaker, and
Nope.
you know,
But I appreciate it. Now, I gotta just say about that debate, that other group pissed me off. That's why I was going. They were trying to poke holes in my arguments. It's like, oh, this is not gonna happen, man. We're gonna have a little argument here.
take it a little personal.
Speaking of first impressions, because I think this is an important topic. So yeah, Nav and I met at SFU. We were both in a business minor. That's also where we met Jason.
Shout out
Jason's
Jason.
gonna love getting shout out
Yeah, I
like
know.
twice already. We're 20 minutes
He's
in,
not
this
gonna
guy.
listen to it. He's gonna be like, I listened to it. It was good. He's not gonna listen to it.
Yeah. Jason, if you listen to this, I want you to text me that the Calgary Flames suck. There we go. So now he has, because they do suck, and he's a fan of them. And we're getting off track here. Um, but so that class was a ton of presenting because we had to do debates, and then I feel like there's a couple other presentations we had to do. But anyways, one of the presentations was finding a commercial, like, Nav did Pepsi, and get up, show the commercial, break it down, and then there's a whole bunch of stuff they had to talk about. And I never met the guy. I didn't know his name. I didn't know anything about him. Never heard him talk. I did nothing, just no impression. And this guy gets up there, and the first thing he's basically yelling to the class about, he's just so amped up, and this energy is oozing off of him. Best presentation we had the entire semester. And it was the first presentation we had. Do you know how difficult it is to have the best presentation be the first one? That's unheard of. That just doesn't happen. So I was like, damn, this guy's got a really good voice. I also thought you were way too cool for me to talk to you. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind
Dude,
of
no,
funny.
no, 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 no. Bro,
Then
I
I got
was
to know you, and I just realized
you're like,
this
nope.
guy's a nerd.
Dog, I was sweating bricks in that presentation. I was telling like jokes and I
Yeah.
had re-rehearsed all the jokes. Like every meticulous thing I did that they might
Hmm.
have thought was like off the cuff or like he just did it in the moment. I rehearsed everything.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, tell me about it.
Man, like that's just the way. It's so unfortunate. Like I wish I was naturally gifted like that. And I feel like I talk enough where I should be. Like, you think business minor, you think someone like, okay, this guy can probably do presentations. Nope. By
It's
no
so
means.
interesting because we've taken a couple other classes where we had to do presentations
Yeah.
together, and they go well. But I think it's because we prepare so much to the point where we know exactly what it's going to say,
Yeah.
what is going to happen. That they're like it. I wonder though, in a presentation like that, like if something goes off a little bit or my thought leaves, like it just that train of thought just leaves my head or something. because I've prepared this specific exact way,
Yeah.
how would I react to that?
Right.
Like, am I going to be able to just to roll with the punches, or because everything's so tightly wound
Yeah.
and specific, and
Yeah.
this is what I'm supposed to be saying, is that just going to completely derail the presentation or whatever is happening? Good thing we don't need to know about that because I don't have any more school presentations to do.
Yeah. Well, lucky you. At least we're done business though. We're done business side. So no more
Um,
presentations.
I just had another thought. See, now we're talking about train of thought leaving, and I was just gonna say something, and it's gone. Ah, oh, okay, I got it. It came back. It came
All
back.
right.
Because so we both have experienced just absolutely cramming for presentations, getting this as prepared as humanly possible. And I was wondering, I was trying to think like why? Like what is the point? Why do people not like public speaking? Why don't they like presentations? And it all comes back to this whole fear of embarrassment or fear of failure. You don't want to look silly in front of other people, which is valid because I experienced that, you experienced that. I think we both have discussed that about this podcast, putting this out there. People are going to watch that maybe we went to school with, and are they going to judge it or what's going to happen there,
Right.
right? But it comes back to at the end of the day, who cares?
Yeah.
It might be embarrassing in the moment. You might look a little funny in the moment. And yeah, someone might tell someone else outside of the class. But in a week, in 2 weeks, in a month, in a year, you're graduated, you're 20 years down the line, no one's going to care.
Yeah.
You're going to look back and then, let's be honest, you're going to tell that as a funny story. Like that's going to be, oh, I remember that time that I did something. I have a moment like this.
Yeah.
Here's another great moment. Grade 9, social studies.
Oh my god.
This was horrible, Nav. This was so, I don't know if I've told you the story before.
Let me hear it.
So I'm giving a presentation with my one of my good friends, George.
Okay.
And it's one of those like very simple socials presentation where we're going through like important people
Hmm.
in history. Like we picked like 10 impactful people, right?
Yeah.
And so we're going back and forth, and I get to like we're like halfway, maybe three-fourths of the way through the presentation, and I'm getting wobbly. I'm like, oh no, something's not right here. And it gets to the point where, okay, I'm gonna throw up. This is happening. It's not a matter of I can't prevent it.
Holy
Like this is
shit.
not happening. I'm holding a paper standing in front of the class. There's 20, 25 other kids in the class, my teacher, everything. I look at my teacher and I say, yeah, I gotta leave. I don't even know where my paper went. I threw it. I ran out of the school. What the hell is it called? The classroom. Running down the hall. I barely make it to the bathroom, but I throw up in the trash can in the bathroom, and half of it gets on my shirt. Now, I went to a Catholic school, so we had uniforms. So, like, I
Damn.
gotta be wearing this uniform. Like, I can't just take this uniform off and show up. So I'm like, oh God, what the heck? So George to the rescue. He comes in after. He finished the presentation by himself. He comes in after. He's like, "You good?" And like, "Yeah, I'm fine now. I don't know. I just threw up all over myself." So he gets me another shirt. I come back. Everyone can tell I threw up on myself because I'm wearing a different shirt. I'm wearing my PE strip, right? And so everyone knows what's happening. And yeah, that was embarrassing. Like I threw up on myself I ran out of a room in the middle of a presentation and threw up on myself. Like that is the worst thing that could possibly happen to someone in high school. But guess what? No one cared.
Yeah.
Nobody cared.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, yeah, he got nervous
Right.
or he was sick or something like that happened.
Yeah.
That happens to people. And so I get so in my head sometimes that, oh, I'm so important. People are going to care so much, yada,
Right.
yada, yada. But
Right.
people
Yeah.
people do things. People have done worse things than that, and people will do worse things than that.
Yeah.
It's just,
And that's another reason why I feel like we got to give the spotlight because it's like I would have never pictured a speaker such as yourself to have gone through that in
yeah.
your earlier days. So I
You're
feel like
just
so
blowing smoke right now. This is amazing. You're being so nice. He's normally not this nice, I gotta say.
I'll warm up. Eventually I'll
He's
become a
faking
little
it for
more
the camera.
faking it. That's why I feel like it's so important. Like when we bring people on, like I feel like there's so many different experiences that you would have just never
Yes.
thought some of these people have ever gone through, and it's made them who
Yeah.
they are today. But
No, it's so true. I think let's go over some goals we have, like what we want this podcast to kind of look like moving forward. So like now I've just mentioned, we both want to have guests on.
yeah,
But I think it's really important to have a whole range of people on. Like, I want my family members,
yeah,
random people that we don't really know, people that we know really well, just to come on, because that is, like, we can't just have a specific group of people because in the world, it's not just a specific group of people.
Right.
Like you got to, I want a runner to come on
Yeah.
and talk about the challenges and specific moments in their running journey and how hard that was and
Yeah.
and to find like how does that apply to other things as well, right?
Yeah.
And I think this is going to change. Like we're not going to be all the time on Zoom.
Yeah.
Hopefully at some point we'll also be in person with each other. So, but yeah, I think just consistency, seeing where this can go. Um, yeah, it's an interesting
Yeah.
thing.
200 episodes. That's our goal. 200 episodes.
That more than that, man.
Well, to start.
Hey, Nav, we're gonna be hosting the Oscars one time.
Yeah. All right. You said it here. Episode 1. Episode 1. It'll never fucking happen.
You don't know that.
Nah, two guys hosting Oscar. Did you see freaking James or Conan
No,
O'Brien?
Cohen.
Yeah,
Cohen O'Brien's hilarious,
it
man.
was great. That was really
Oh,
good.
did you hear his one? Oh, sorry, this is completely off topic, but
Yeah.
I have to mention it. He had one of the worst jokes, but it was so good that he said, uh, I think he said in Australia they call it kilometers and kilometers or something, but here we call it Miles Teller and Miles and Miley Cyrus. And it took me so long to figure out what he was saying. Do you understand that
I don't.
joke?
I don't think I do. Like
Because
Miles Teller.
Miles Teller, like it's you that's
Yeah.
you reading the Miles, and then Miley Cyrus was still play on words of the other thing he said. And no one laughed. There wasn't a laugh. And you could see in Cohen's face, he's like,
He's just pissed off
what the
that no
hell?
one
No,
laughed.
no, no, he was just like he knew it was a bad joke.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't even know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But he didn't care,
Yeah.
right? He's just gonna say it. Because why not?
Right.
And I thought it was hilarious. That was a moment that stuck out in my brain.
Nice. Yeah, it's tough because we're also trying not to like, man, like just before we started recording this one, like I had like a whole like script planned, and I was gonna do exactly what we did in like high school or like and like university and like
Super
plan like
prepared. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
we were like planning everything. Like this is what we're gonna talk about. This is what we're gonna talk about. But you got on my ass about being like, nah, this is gonna be authentic. We don't want no script. We don't want no outline. We're just gonna click record, see where this goes, and so this is a new experience for me. So you're gonna see a
Yeah,
lot.
it is a prepared winging it, I feel like.
Yeah, it's a good way to put it.
Wasn't there a Disney show called Winging
Winging it, yeah. The guy with the angel, the black guy, and then the Carl Monclair. You talking about my boy Carl Monclair?
It? What?
Porter? Yeah, Winging it, dude. What are you talking about? You don't remember it?
I'm looking at it. Oh, this
Yeah,
one.
yeah. Carl Monclair, dude.
Oh my, yes, yes. Wow,
Yeah.
these people, that's crazy. These people are so old now.
Yeah, I know, right? Childhood was a while ago.
I can't believe I'm gonna be 24 in a couple months.
I'm not as old as that, but
Yeah.
yeah.
We get it, man. You have more life to live. It's fine.
I have more moments in life. That was a bad joke. That
Okay.
was a Conan joke.
That was a bad joke. That was really bad. I don't know where to go from that. You kind of just stunted everything that's happening
Man,
here.
would you stop? Don't stop pinning it on me.
I will pin it on you. That's why you're here. You're not here to be
I'm
helpful.
just-
You're here to be my trash can. I'm just gonna throw garbage at you all day long.
Yeah, when we have like the third, when we have a guest on, I'd be like, oh, if something gets messed up, just blame Nav. Don't worry about it. Just it's
Ah.
fucking Nav.
Nab it! Nab it! I was trying to say damn it and nab at the same time.
Yo, that better not stick, man. That better not stick.
No, I think that should stick. I think that is very important how to stick. All right, let's get there's maybe one more piece of like a little something.
All right.
I really like this thing that you wrote down. It's been making me think of how do we recognize when we're in a potential big moment or life-changing moment versus only realizing it after, right? So how, and this just comes to the fact where you have to keep yourself in the moment, which is such a difficult thing. I think a lot of us, myself included, are not good at doing.
Yeah.
I having I deal with some anxiety sometimes,
Yeah.
and that can take me out of the moment instantly because I'm always worrying about stuff that's coming down the line.
Yeah.
Like big one, I'm sure people can relate. I hate going to the dentist, and if I have a dentist appointment coming up, I am wrapping myself thinking about that. Like that's all I'm thinking about. So how can we stay in the moment and realize that, oh shit, what's going on right now is a really, really big thing. You got any ideas about how we can do that?
Matt, aside from like being present, like whenever I hear that, like that question always comes back. You said like that. You watch The Office. You've watched The Office.
Hell yeah,
Yeah.
great show.
What is it like? Andy Bernard at the end. He's like, how do you know you're in the
Yes.
moments, when you're
It was
in
like
them?
a. I wish someone told me these were the good old days
Yeah, yeah,
while I
yeah.
was in the good old days,
Right.
something like that. Yeah.
And I feel like that's so important. It's so hard to do, especially like in the present. Like obviously, like looking back, you're like, oh, like as much as like I'm still in like my post-secondary journey. As much as this is like annoying me and like however much stress this is putting me in, like I'm
Hold
sure,
on to it, man.
yeah, I'm sure 5 years from now, like I'm gonna look back and be like,
Two
okay,
months from now, you're gonna realize,
hey, shut
damn,
up, you
that
don't
wasn't
miss it,
that
you
bad.
don't miss it.
Yeah, I don't miss it. I miss the structure because right now it's like, what am I doing in my life?
Yeah,
So it is a good thing. Just being present, like, and it takes practice, right?
yeah,
Sticking in the moment, in every moment, and
right,
not trying to get too far out of it,
yeah,
but being really present about what you're doing. And sometimes it's like it's beautiful outside today,
yeah,
right? It's gorgeous, blue skies. I'm gonna go outside after, and I'm just gonna sit, and I'm gonna feel that warmth, and just experience it, just feel it, really.
yeah,
And I think that helps so much with realizing that, oh, this is a massive moment,
right,
or oh, this could be a change, like this could be a big pivot.
yeah.
It's really interesting what can be a big moment, right?
I feel like
Um,
to an extent anything can, like I feel like it's all about mindset in that sense. I see so many videos about like just about like the importance of thankfulness, and like as much as I
mm,
hate studying for exams, like I'm like, oh, I got another midterm, I got another midterm, I got to study for
yeah,
finals, I got presentations and all that. But it's like it's not about like I have to do it. It's about like I get to do it. Like I have the opportunity to like what I think like further my life as a result of
yeah,
this education. Like my parents
yeah,
set me up nicely, and like I'm able to do this. Like you're able to go outside and just sit and like not have to worry about like 1,000 different things, and you have like the peace of mind to be able to just sit and take it all in. So I feel like
yeah,
it's just about like how you view like what is truly on your plate.
yeah. I also have this just kind of goes with why this podcast is starting now. I guess we could say it's the I don't know if it's a life-changing moment, but it was a pivotal one potentially.
Yeah.
I think I was telling you this. I went to a live show in February at the end of the
Oh yeah.
month with my girlfriend. I'm sure some people know what the Basement Yard is, Joey and Frank. They have been a big reason why I wanted to start this because I see the impact they have on people, right? And I was sitting, it's at the Queen Elizabeth Theater in downtown Vancouver, and I was sitting there, I was looking around, and it was the first moment ever in my entire life where I was doing something and I thought, this is it. Like this is the thing that I want to do. I've been to hockey games, I've been to concerts and comedy shows. I've been to things, I've experienced things, I've been to other countries, and for whatever reason, sitting there watching them do their thing, watching how everyone was reacting, nobody was like stressing. I wasn't worried about anything. My girlfriend and I had a great time. It's like that's it. That is the thing. And so we talk about life in moments. Buying those tickets, spending that money, going to that show was all worth it because that kind of kicked my butt into gear to get going a little bit here.
Yeah. Do you have good
So
seats?
yeah, it was very good seats. We were like the first row. I don't know what it's called. Is the apron? I'm
Up
not
top.
very. Yeah, but
Okay.
it wasn't super high up. Like it was the first row. There's no one below us. Was just straight down.
Yeah, yeah. Damn, big baller,
And
huh?
then
Big baller this one.
I that was my girlfriend who got those seats.
Oh yeah.
That was
Okay.
not me.
Shout out your girlfriend.
Yeah. Um. Damn. This is fun.
Yeah.
I feel like I gotta take a moment to say that this is fun.
Yeah.
And I'm enjoying
We got to
myself.
live in this moment.
Yeah. Because when we're hosting the Oscars in 20 years
Shut
from
the
now,
fuck up.
we're gonna look back to this moment and say that's the thing that started it all.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Right.
I feel like there's been a duo to host the Oscars before.
Yeah, but they didn't start like
Those two ladies.
within like green walls and like shitty cameras and colorful microphones. But
I don't know what you're talking about. I got beautiful walls. I got a nice
man, stop.
mic.
This
I
is
got a
this is
4K
Caleb's dad's room,
camera.
by the way. But this is Caleb's dad's room. You won't see this. He won't be in this room all the time.
Yeah, no, he's not. He's not here.
Yeah,
So
then we'll see your
I
true
took it
setup.
from a. Shut up! Why you making me look so bad, man?
Listen, I blew smoke up your ass for like 35 minutes. Now it's my turn to flip the switch a little bit.
Uh-huh. All right. Well, should we do like a little wrap up here?
Let's do a wrap up. Yeah.
I don't know how
how,
to
do,
wrap this
how do we do a
up.
wrap up?
Oh, this is going to get better. If anyone is watching this, shout out mom, because I know my mom's watching this. Love you. If my mom is the only person watching this, it's going to be better. And we're just promising that. This feels, it's fine. It's great.
It's not as
It's all
bad. You know, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Like, I thought this was going to be a lot harder.
not as,
Okay, I
not as
went in with
shit.
low
It's not as shit
expectations.
as it was.
I went in with low expectations. Obviously, like, you know, before, like, we talked about our presentation days and how we had, like, really high expectations for ourselves. I went in with low expectations. And
Oh
I'm
yeah,
pleasantly
yeah.
surprised with the way this turned out. Like, I thought it was going to be more awkward, even though I'm just talking to you. But it's just something about a camera and being able to see myself, and it's kind of nerve
It's
wracking.
intense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, millions of people are going to see this, so.
Millions, millions, and millions.
Millions and mil Oh, that
Millions.
sounds like Dwayne The Rock Johnson's promo.
The
Hey,
millions.
hey, do you watch WWE?
Of course, I watch WWE. Not so much anymore, but now it's on
John Cena
Netflix.
turned
I
heel.
saw that.
What the hell is that?
That's pretty crazy.
That
I
was
would have
this
never.
man's retiring at the end
Yeah,
of the
so I
year,
thought they'd ended on a good note, but now I'm like,
and
is
they
he gonna retire now?
turned him heel.
Yeah,
That's really random. I don't know why that just popped in my head.
there's random
This,
thoughts.
but I think this is another thing because these are big moments. Like that I was watching John Cena and CM Punk fight at the Elimination Chamber, and I was immediately taken back to being 12 years old
And
and
watching
there
him fight.
being a strike on WWE Monday Night Raw,
Yeah,
and Triple H, John Cena, Sheamus, and CM Punk, I think it was Sheamus, all came in, legends of the game, and did put on a great show, and CM Punk commentated.
yeah,
Why do I remember that?
yeah.
Why do we just remember these random moments that we have?
That was a big moment.
Like,
That was a big moment in WWE.
but it's just so weird that like, that's something that stuck out. That's like, sticks in my head.
Yeah,
So this is also something to expect. I think every week we're gonna have a little section where we just talk about, some sports, because we're both big sports
yeah,
fans, and some other stuff that's going on. And I think our goal is to leave people with thinking about something, laugh maybe, think about something a little bit. Hopefully this is somewhat educational.
yeah.
It's not going to be because Nav's on the show,
Yo,
but
would you
whatever.
fuck off?
Yeah, I'm kidding. It's all
Hater.
love. It's all love. One day you'll have a good looking camera. That'll be nice.
Man, all right, I'm done. I'm done. Wrap up, huh? Wrap up. I'm done.
I don't even know how to wrap this up.
Dude, um, we'll try to bring in guests maybe around like the third episode or the fourth episode. Maybe y'all's.
Barack Obama? Shout out Brock.
Yeah, we want to hoop with Brock. We want to play basketball with Barack Obama. Just like, what was that? It was the to not give a fuck about to not give a fuck podcast. That's what they said in their first episode.
The subtle art.
Subtle art of not giving a fuck
Well,
podcast.
it was the host he had. The guest he had on the show.
Yeah.
I forget the guest name. Yeah, let's hold each other accountable. I want BC Bob to come on this podcast. I love BC Bob.
Mm,
There's another guy. His name's Ben. He lives in Vancouver. I want him to come on this thing.
yeah.
Um, my mom. That'd be great if I got my
Yeah.
mom on this podcast. I don't know if I'm fully prepared for that to happen yet, though.
I wanna bring like my parents on too. I feel like I gotta help them a lot with like how to set up a camera and things of that sort. But I feel like it'd be a cool experience.
Yeah. So we just want to, and people, everyone listening, we want you on too.
All three of you.
The millions and millions. All right. Well, I think that was a pretty good start.
Yeah.
I feel great. When is this coming out?
Yo, we
When do wanna
don't.
release that?
Once we figure out editing,
Okay, I
and
know how to edit, man.
Yo, I'm kidding.
What are you talking about? It's not that hard. We got a little
Uh,
child over here.
I don't know. We can every Saturday. You want to do weekend?
Is that a good day? Is that a good day to release? Oh, people aren't working, so maybe that is a good day to release.
Yeah.
Okay,
Saturday?
this is coming out in 2 days from now,
Yeah.
and every Saturday after that until we die.
Yes. We also have an Instagram channel or Instagram
Right.
page.
Yeah, Life in Moments Pod.
Yeah.
Go follow.
Yeah.
TikTok, Life in Moments Pod.
Yeah.
Email, lifeinmomentspod@gmail.com. I'm gonna regret putting that out. No, it's not
We
that
don't-
hard
do
to
we have it
guess.
yet? We don't have it yet.
I have it.
You actually have it?
Yo, I'm prepared,
You made
man.
a Gmail?
Hell yeah, I
I'm getting
did.
a bunch of spam now.
YouTube, Life in Moments Pod. I mean, if you're watching this, on YouTube.
Yeah.
So you
Spotify?
found it.
Spotify?
Spotify,
Yeah.
Apple Music, or
Mm-hmm.
Apple
Mm-hmm.
Podcasts.
It's everywhere. It'll be the same content, just
It's
recycled.
everywhere.
Yeah.
We are everywhere.
Yes, we are.
Ba, 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 ba. All right. Well, I think that pretty much sums up our first podcast.
Yes, sir. I'm Nav. That's Caleb.
That is me. Thank you for watching. We greatly appreciate it. We
Yes.
hope you will come back. Tell your parents, tell your grandma, tell your grandpa, your friends, your priest, your congregation at your churches,
Tell your dog.
your dog,
Anyone. Yeah.
um, your local government. Post about it.
Post about it. Yeah. Repost.
We're
Okay.
here for the long haul, baby. The long haul. You can't get rid of
Yeah,
us.
the wrap ups will be a lot cleaner and smoother than this, but
Uh,
we'll see you in the next one.
Everything's gonna be a lot cleaner, smoother. Anywho, thanks for listening. We'll
All right.
catch you later.